What's up, Bills Mafia? So what did we learn from the Buffalo Bills win over the New York Giants on Sunday? Well, not every win is going to look pretty. But before we get to that, let's get to that intro.
This is PZ Music.
Welcome to the Mafia Sports Report. I am Tommy. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell because I always forget to tell you. Well, Bills Mafia, what did we learn from the Buffalo Bills win over the New York Giants this past Sunday night? Well, not every win is going to look pretty, and this one sure wasn't. In fact, it was downright ugly. So, once again, shout out to Bills Wire for creating this article. All right, here we go. Von's increase in the D line. Von Miller slowly being brought along. He saw a slight increase in snap counts as he returns from his knee injury. But it's not like the Bills were desperate to have him back. A very good thing. Sacks came from the likes of Gregory Rousseau and A.J. Epinesa on the defensive line. Rousseau added another pair of tackles for loss. Buffalo's front held Giants running back Saquon Barkley in the first half. The second saw him have some success. But overall, a good effort. Yeah, man. Guys, it's going to take a little bit of time for Von Miller to get back to being Von Miller. Let's be real here. That's why he's on a limited snap count, and he will be for probably the next 2 or 3 games. And you're probably not going to see Von being back to being himself until late in the season. But you could kind of see this second game back that he's bending a little better. His speed around the edge is a little bit better as well. So he's getting there. But it's going to take some time. So thankfully, we have guys that are stepping up, like Gregory Rousseau, who I said was going to have a very good season. Guys like A.J. Epinesa, who's really stepped up his game. A guy named Leonard Floyd, right? Who we picked up in the offseason, who I said, that was such a great pick. I told everybody, while Von is out, you couldn't have asked for better, a better guy to fill in. And he's going to get, 9 to 10 sacks easily. I think he has 6.5 right now. He's averaged 9 over the last 3 seasons. The guy just seems to be getting better as he ages, which is crazy. But yeah, it's just like everybody's stepping up right now. Ed Oliver is definitely living up to his contract extension. It sucks that Daquan Jones went out because he was having a Pro Bowl type season. But Poona Ford, I thought, filled in well. Tim Settle needs to play better. He has not played well. That's the one guy I'm a little disappointed in. But everybody else is doing their job on that line, and it's great to see. All right, next up. Defense can win games. Adding to the defensive narratives, they won the game. In addition to play of the front 7, the Bills secondary had huge moments. At the top, Teron Johnson's game-saving pass deflection was exactly that, regardless of a penalty that could have been called. Christian Benford returned from a shoulder injury and had a key 4th down pass breakup in the second half. Those are clutch plays. I agree. So Teron Johnson, it was a hold. I'm not going to lie. We got away with one there. I thought the play before that on Bernard, the PI, was a bad call. I didn't see it. I looked at it again when I did the film study. I thought that was a bad call by the refs. I really do. You can't call that there, and I really didn't see anything anyways to be called. Now, the Teron Johnson play, very rare do they call back-to-back PIs. And maybe that was the case. Maybe they just let him play a little bit more physical, or maybe the referees just didn't see the quick grab. We've been there before. Stephon Diggs got grabbed in Tampa Bay on that comeback in 2021. So we understand as Bills fans what Giants fans are thinking. I get it. But it is what it is, man. The Giants were holding all game as well. That was their game plan, to be physical, to hold a little bit, and the referees just didn't call it or didn't see it that way. And yeah, it is what it is, man. They're not gonna get every single one, and it benefited the Bills this time. But I thought Teron Johnson overall play was very good, like it's always been. Let's be real, Teron Johnson is a hell of a player. And I'm glad that Bean extended him a few years back. Well worth every penny. I thought Benford played well. I thought the first half he struggled a little bit, but he got back in on some plays that he was beat and made a play on the ball, which is good. Kyrie Elam, I felt struggled. I really do. This was a game where he could have made an impact against a lesser opponent, against receivers that really are not that good on the Giants. And he just once again seemed to get beaten often. He couldn't get back in on the play. I will give him credit in the second half. He did. He got beat, and he did finally get back on a play and made a pass deflection, which was towards the end of the game. It was actually Hyde helped him out. Hyde helped him out as well, but he definitely was there to help out and save a catch that would have been, I think it was like a 40, 50-yard pass. That was a big pass by Tyrod. By the way, beautiful pass by Tyrod. Both passes that he did, those deep passes, the one that went on Benford, that Benford deflected, and the one on that was Kyer's guy. So overall, though, Kyer, I'm a little concerned there. But we'll see it. We'll see what going moving forward. I know he's this week he's injured. He's on the injury list. We'll see if he plays this Sunday. That's the best I could tell you. All right, slow starts a trend. The Bills had another slow start. Is it starting to become a trend? Last week, it was blamed on the team traveling to London. Buffalo was in Buffalo on Sunday facing the Giants. We learned that head coach Sean McDermott needs to right this wrong. I agree, man. Like, there's no more excuses. Zero. You can't. You're back in Buffalo. You've been back in Buffalo. This is a home game in front of a home crowd against a lesser opponent. Let's be real. No disrespect to the Giants, but they were 1-5 coming into that game. They were a bad football team, or 1-4. I apologize. They were a bad football team, and they also, not only were they a bad football team, they were without their starting quarterback. They had key injuries all over the place. Then they had more injuries throughout the game on offensive line. This is a game that Buffalo should have had in his pocket way early in this game. To have 0 points going into the halftime, it's flat out embarrassing, and especially at home, like that, like even on the road, it's flat out embarrassing against that team. Well, there's no excuse. I don't care. We are a better team. We have better players. Yes, we have some guys out. Matt Milano, Trey White, Daquan Jones. I get it. Like, there's some key injuries, but this opponent, you could get by without those guys, needing those guys, and get a, impressive looking win. And we didn't see that from the Bills. We saw a team that looked out of sync, especially on offense. I thought defense was fine, holding the Giants to 9 points. You can't ask for any better than that. Obviously 0 would be unbelievable, but 9 points I'll take. But the offense, once again, just cannot find any rhythm, and it just seems a little bit lost out there. Even the scoring drives that we had, it just seems like, they're tough. It seems like everything is difficult for this offense. Everything's coming down to a 3rd and long, or fourth down play. It just, everything seems difficult for this team to get a first down, to move the chains, to score a touchdown, and it shouldn't be that way. And I'm not saying every drive needs to be smooth and we need to score every single drive. I get it. It's the NFL. It doesn't work that way. But we have yet, at least since maybe the Dolphins game, but other than that, every other game seems to be a problem driving down and scoring. It all seems to be a problem. a remission. Just everything's difficult out there, and it shouldn't be like that. So that's on Ken Dorsey. That's on also Josh Allen, and they need to correct this. They need to figure out and fix the problem. I know, at least I see the problems. It's Ken Dorsey doesn't know how to use the personnel he has, the players that we went out and got for him. He doesn't know how to use Deontay Hardy. He doesn't know how to use Trent Sherfield. He doesn't know how to use Dalton Kincaid. Like, he knows how to use Stephon Diggs, which is who won it. You can go anywhere. You know how to use Stephon Diggs. You know how to use Josh Allen properly for the most part. Yeah, it's Josh Allen. Other than that, everybody else just seems like they're just out there. And that shouldn't be the case. When you go out and you get these guys, when you sign these guys as free agents, when you draft these guys, I would assume that Bean and you and Ken Dorsey and Sean McDermott, they evaluate these players and they see that, what their strengths are and go, hey, we think Deontay Hardy can do this with the offense. We think, that we can use some jet sweeps and motions and the deep ball. Here's a guy with speed that, now can go deep, right? Because we don't really have electric speed on this team. And we have yet to use Deontay Hardy's speed as an advantage on the offense. Nothing. We just don't use him correctly. Trent Sherfield, a guy who has size and speed, we have yet to use at all, really. We do not game plan for him at all. There's nothing set up for Trent Sherfield in this offense. I don't get it. Dalton Kincaid, all his routes are short. Every single one. You got to give him a better route tree than that. You have to get him more involved in this offense. Look what he did in college. You are not using him correctly, in my opinion. That has to change, or this offense is going to continue to stall. And Josh Allen as well. He has to play better. He has to, look at his other options other than Diggs at times. And I feel like sometimes his eyes are just on Diggs. And you cannot play like that. There's been many instances where guys have been wide open and Josh Allen just doesn't go their direction. You cannot play like that. That's why you have a whole team there. You have a whole bunch of players that can make plays. That's why we went out and signed them. And that's on Josh as well. Also, if you don't like a play that Ken Dorsey's calling down to you, you're in year 6. You have the ability to change the play at the line. I don't understand why he sticks with Ken Dorsey's play call every single time. Very rarely do I see Josh Allen audible out of a play or change the play at the line. It's usually what Ken Dorsey calls. It's what's going on. It's going to happen. And Josh Allen, I wish would take more responsibility and read the defense better and say, no, you know what? It's 3rd and inches. And we're in shotgun draw. You know what? I'm not comfortable with this. Let me get under center and do a quarterback sneak, or let me get under center and have, Murray run for first down. We only need a couple inches here. Stuff like that. And yeah, he just doesn't change him up. So he has to also take a little bit of responsibility and start reading the defense better and change the plays at the line if he doesn't like them. I don't think anyone's going to yell at Josh Allen for changing Ken Dorsey's play, from time to time on the field. I've yet to see it. I hope he eventually does. We need to give Josh Allen a little bit more responsibility out there, and let Josh, also let Josh be Josh again as well. Like, I'm not saying let Josh be crazy, throw mad interceptions and just play, backyard football. But Josh Allen is at his best when he's not handcuffed. And I almost feel like after week 1 against the Jets, a bad week for Allen, that they kind of handcuffed him a little bit. And I almost feel like Josh Allen doesn't want to, risk making those same mistakes he did week 1. And I kind of feel like it might be holding him back a little bit, because that's not his game. His game is where he takes chances. His game is where he takes off running at times. And I also feel like sometimes he has the ability to take off and he chooses not to. He hesitates now, and he either throws the ball a bad pass or he winds up getting tackled quickly because he's waiting too long to make that decision. The Josh Allen of old will make a decision like that and take off if he saw it, and would get big chunk yards for the most part. And I just don't see that this year. I think he's just, like I said, I think he just doesn't want to make a mistake, and you can't play like that. We need Josh Allen being the old Josh Allen, but just also a little bit smarter as well with some of the decisions. But I just, like I said, man, I just feel like he's being a little bit handcuffed there. I think the coaches got on him after week 1, and he's a little hesitant on his decision making sometimes. And I want kind of the old Josh back, to be honest with you. All right, next up, run game bounce back. The ground game didn't fly out the gate. It was slow and steady, but it eventually did come. James Cook led the backfield with 71 rushing yards, 5.1 average. Latavius Murray added another 45, 3.8 average. Buffalo's rushing attack killed the clock and kept the Giants off the field. Yeah, 100%. And listen, everyone wanted to credit Ken Dorsey for the second half for running the ball. I do not credit Ken Dorsey for running the ball second half because it was there in the first half. We actually ran the ball a few times, and we ran successfully and had chunk yard pickups, and he went away from it in the first half. So why would I give credit to something that was already there working in the first half, and then he went away from it and then decided going back to it in the second half? Like, I don't understand why you would go away from something that's working. It makes no sense. Keep going with the run game if it's working. If they're stuffing it, fine. Then start opening up some play action passes. But to go away from something that's working makes zero sense to me. The one thing I did like from Ken Dorsey in this game, and I hope he continues doing it, is have Murray lead off as the running back on the first couple series. What does that do? He's a bigger back. He's going to break down that defensive line. He's gonna make them pay for tackling him. And he's going to soften them up. And then when James Cook starts coming in the first quarter, midway through, or sprinkle him in on the next series or two, it's going to get a little bit easier for James Cook to hit those holes while their defensive line is a little banged up or a little bit softened up. And that's where you see James Cook at his best. So I really hope that Murray gets more opportunities moving forward, and he is the lead back starting games. I'm not saying he has the most carries. I'm saying he's the lead back to start games. And also, I got to say, James Cook, terrible pass protection. He's not a good pass defender or pass blocker. Sorry. He just not block well for the quarterback, for Josh Allen. He's just undersized. He whiffs. Latavius Murray, Damian Harris are really good at pass blocking. And that is an issue for James Cook, because you can't have a 3-down back that can't pass block. You can't. You got to have better. He has to work on that. He has to gain some weight. But yeah, I mean, like on passing downs, depending if the design is for James Cook, I wouldn't have James Cook on passing downs. If you're going to have a running back there, have Murray or Harris when Harris comes back to protect Josh Allen. Give him extra protection back there, because James Cook's not gonna do it. So, but overall, I thought the run game was better because the second half he decided to finally run the ball against a bad run defense team. Now, their defensive line's not bad, but overall, I think they're like 28th in run defense. They're not very good. So yeah, like I said, moving forward, get Murray in there early, get him the lead, start the game, soften up the defense, and then get Cook sprinkled in there. And then if Harris is back, have Harris finish out the game and kill that clock towards in the fourth quarter somewhere. All right, next up, a chippy team. The Bills didn't back down when pushing and shoving turned into a fight. This team has an edge. Opponents will take note. Yeah, I agree. So that's the end of that article, by the way. So it was a chippy game. It really was. But I think Brian Daboll had that plan. I really do. I think Brian Daboll knows this team very well. He understands that certain players, like Gabe Davis, gets rattled when there's when he's getting bothered by a defender, when things are getting chippy, when he's a defender's in his head. And you saw that with Gabe Davis. You have seen it in the past. He doesn't. He's just starts to. It messes him up. He just does not play the same when a defender gets in his head. And you kind of saw that too. With the team fighting back with him right away. I don't mind the chippiness. I don't mind a little, for us to not take any shit. But at the same time, you can't, have it mess up your game, right? And I feel like Dable had that game plan going in. I feel like the defense was holding and grabbing and playing physical all game long, and the referees most of the time were not calling penalties. And I felt like Bills players, receivers were starting to get bothered by it, and it threw them off their game 100%. And that was the game plan: play physical against the Bills. Let's see if we can rattle them, because honestly, that was the only way they were going to win. They were outmanned. And not only that, we were just a better team. We have better overall players, and he knows that. He understands that. He knew what he was up against, and I thought it was a great game plan. Also, he knows the player's strengths and weaknesses, right? He knows what Josh Allen likes to do. He knows his tendencies. He also knows his playbook very well, because Ken Dorsey has not made a change to it. Ken Dorsey dummied down Dable's playbook. This is a dummied down version of Brian Dable's playbook. There is nothing unique to this playbook that I haven't seen before when Brian Dable was here. The only thing that's different is the creativity is out the door, because at least Brian Dable brings some creativity from time to time, and some trick plays here and there. He did make this offense at times very fun to watch. Under Ken Dorsey, this offense has not been fun to watch. And you're lying if you tell me it is. It's not. It hasn't been. You could tell on the sideline, the players, they're not having fun out there. The offensive side, they don't seem to be having fun. Even when we score, like I said, every score is a mission. Every score is difficult. We don't celebrate like we used to. It just seems like players are down even after scoring. And it never was like that. I got to be real with you. And I think they need to get their mojo back. They need to find their rhythm again. And that starts with Ken Dorsey. And Ken Dorsey needs to start being more creative. You cannot just keep using Dable's playbook, this dummied down version of it. Because defensive coordinators are taking notice. The Giants themselves said what we saw on tape is exactly what we got. There was nothing different. And you can't do that. Every game, you got a game plan for that team you're going against. And Ken Dorsey, once again, is proving that he's not doing that. And it almost seems like he wants the players to just perfect the play calls he has and nothing else. He doesn't want to put anything else in that playbook for them to handle. And he can't do that. These guys are professional athletes. A lot of these guys they have really good, strengths, like things they could do well on the football field, and they're not using that. I go back, I watched players like Deontay Hardy for the Saints. When he played for the Saints, man, the guy was electric when he had the ball in his hand. They were using slants. They were getting him involved in the offense, deep ball. And he looked very good when he was healthy. And I really thought that Ken Dorsey would see that and understand that this guy is electric with the ball when he has some field ahead of him. And we have yet to use him in any kind of offensive game plan other than wide receiver screen passes, which do not work because defenses are reading them and sniffing them out. Got to switch it up with Deontay Hardy. Same with Trent Sherfield, just not using him the right way. And like I said earlier, Dalton Kincaid, you drafted him for a reason, right? You must have scouted him. You must have saw what he could do. And yet you choose not to use him the right way. So this all falls on, like I said, one guy. That's Ken Dorsey. And if you want to get this offense back to being a fun offense again, an offense that scores points, an offense that's in a groove week after week, then you got to switch it up. This is all on you. And if you can't, you're going to find yourself looking for a job in the offseason because I can't see how McDermott or Bean will keep you around if this continues throughout the season. I don't think Dorsey's going anywhere this season. It's just not going to happen. The way that Sean McDermott, when it was asked if he felt like somebody else should be calling the plays, and he said no. Like he was not happy with the question. Ken Dorsey is his guy. I get it, and I'm not saying. Listen, I agree as well. You can't make a change midway through a season like that as well. Josh Allen wouldn't like it. Stephon Diggs like it would kind of mess things up. I think right now, but I think that getting Brady more involved, getting Shula more involved with this offense would help. Maybe have them, more of a, or maybe Shula up there because I know Brady is the quarterback coach. He's down there on the field, but Shula's up there. Why not have a split OC? Why not have Shula being more involved with the play calls? Because something has to change. And that's the problem with having McDermott as a head coach, who's a defensive head coach. He doesn't know offense very well, and he doesn't really get himself involved in the offense. I think he knows what he wants to see, which is a better offense, which is an offense that scores, points, in the first half on like 0 points this game. An offense that starts faster, an offense that doesn't seem out of sync all the time. I'm pretty sure that's what he wants to see, points on the board for his defense. So his defense isn't always playing behind or in tight games or games that come down to the final play for his defense. And the guys, listen, once again, I understand not every game is going to be like that. Not every game the offense is going to be on fire. But it just seems this season, except for that Dolphin game, the offense has struggled week after week after week after week. And it has to get better, and it starts with Ken Dorsey. Anyways, guys, tomorrow will be Mafia Means Family podcast. They will be previewing the Buffalo Bills versus the New England Patriots game, and on this coming up Sunday. That's Thursday at 7:30. Friday at 8:30. It's Friday Night Lights with me and Mikey. You don't want to miss that. That's our prime time show, baby. And then Saturday at 2 is fantasy football, which is Fantasy Kingdom with Mikey and Howie. That's at 2:00. And at 6:00 is AFC East Shakedown, and everybody's back. And that's going to be here on Mafia Sports Report. That's me. That's Curtis from Ace Per Head. That's Trevor and Juan from Sports Dynasty Podcast. Jedi Kev from Jedi Kev Sports. So, yeah, you don't want to miss that. That's going to be a fun show like it always is. And Bills Mafia, I love you. And as always, go Bills. I'm out of here. Peace.